Good morning. Welcome to Flight 2016. We are prepared to take off into a new year. Please make sure your attitude and blessings are secured and locked in an upright position. All self-destructive devices should be turned off at this time. All negativity, hurt, and discouragement should be put away. Should we lose altitude under pressure during the flight, reach up and pull down a prayer. Prayers will automatically be activated by faith. Once your faith is activated, you can assist other passengers. There will be no baggage allowed on this flight. The captain has cleared us for takeoff. Destination, greatness. So Happy New Year. Welcome to 2016. How many of you made resolutions? Very few made resolutions. I guess we've learned over the years that they don't always work, huh? I know I have learned that I don't really do those anymore, but I know sometimes it's sort of a tradition that we make resolutions or we set new intentions for our lives as the year changes. There's nothing magical about turning the calendar from 2015 to 2016. But there's something in our consciousness about it, isn't there? There's something in our consciousness that says, this is a new opportunity. We have a new opportunity. It's a clean slate. It's time to start over. And so it's in our consciousness. It's sort of a way we approach it. And so we do that. We think, okay, well, now it's time. I'm going to make a decision to go to the gym more. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to start praying every day. I'm going to start meditating for an hour every day. And all those things, we think about. And they're great things to think about. They're great choices to make. But very often, we may do them for a day or two, and then we forget all about them, don't we? Well, why is that, really? Because we're trying to make the change on the outer. We're trying to make a change in our behavior. But what we know in our teaching is that change really begins within. The change begins in our consciousness. In our minds. As Paul said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So when we renew our minds, we renew our consciousness, then we make changes. And changes are born. External changes are born out of that. When we did the burning bowl, it's a ritual that we engage in to release things that are no longer serving us. But the outer expression of putting the flash paper in the fire is a wonderful opportunity to see it, to experience it. But really what happens, it happens within us, right? It happens in our consciousness. And so in order for us to transform our consciousness, it's a great opportunity for us to look at our consciousness, what's in our consciousness, to open our consciousness, to explore what's in there, and really to question. Because a lot of what's in our mind is content. It's just our history, our beliefs, and our religion, and all of those things that we sort of have accepted. And so it's an opportunity for us to question those things. As the song said, it's not good, it's not bad. It's just, are we open to the possibility that what we think we know might not be true? Or what we think we know may not be the full picture. And so sometimes we hold to what we believe or what we've been taught. And somehow that can limit us. Sometimes that can really limit us. There's a wonderful story in the Bible it's in John, about a man named Nicodemus. And Nicodemus was a Pharisee, which were in the tradition were those who are really about the law. They were all about the law and the rules and the Mosaic Code and all of that, and so they adhered strictly to that. And not only was Nicodemus part of a Pharisee, he was a part of the Sanhedrin, which was sort of like the city council, the rulers, the one who sort of made the laws and the rules for the cities. And so he had heard about Jesus, and he heard about all the works that Jesus was doing, all the things that Jesus was healing people and walking on water and feeding the 5,000 and all that. So he said, something's up with this guy. What's up with this guy? And so he didn't want anybody to know. So under the cloak of night, and I'm guessing he probably wore one of those hoods, where he protected his face. And so he snuck over to where Jesus was, and he said, "Hey, man, what's up with this? I've heard about you doing all these crazy things. You must really be a man of God in order to do that. And how can I do those things? How can I have that same experience?" And what did Jesus say? Do you remember the story at all? Jesus said, well, in order to enter that place, in order to enter the kingdom, you have to be born again. And Nicodemus said, what? How can a man who's grown go back into his mother's womb and be born again? And I can imagine Jesus going, oh my God, are you kidding me? Of course that can't happen, And Jesus said, no, it's about being born of spirit. It's about being born again in your consciousness, really. Having a new way of looking at things. Because what metaphysically that represents to us is that Nicodemus is a part of us that adheres so strictly to what we believe to be true. That we have our own religions, right? Even atheists have their religion. It's a set of beliefs, a set of rules that we live by. I don't care if you're Christian or Jewish or Muslim or atheist, you have a religion. And my definition of religion is just a belief that we keep on thinking and give a lot of energy to. And a belief really is just a thought that we give a lot of energy to. So it all begins with a thought. If we think it enough, if we give it enough energy, it becomes a belief. And if we give a belief enough energy, then it becomes our religion. And so we all have a religion. And we sometimes adhere very strictly to that religion. And so what that represents to us is, are we willing to question our beliefs? And Jesus said, well, in order to be open, you must be born again. You must be born into that place of curiosity and openness and willingness to question everything. In the Zen Buddhist tradition, it's called beginner's mind. It's the I don't know mind. It's the openness. Letting go of what we think we know. Letting go of our attachment to how things should be. Are we willing to do that? In Matthew, Jesus talks about you must become as little children in order to enter the kingdom of heaven. I love that idea. I didn't have children, but I've heard children ask all the time, ask questions. Small children. They don't know. They haven't learned yet all these concepts. They come from this place of innocence and curiosity and openness. Why? What? Does anybody have that experience with their children? Why? I had this. I was thinking about this week. I was recognizing, and I was holding this pencil, and I was imagining a little child not knowing what this is. What is that? Well, it's a pencil. But why? And as I thought about it, I thought, I don't know. I don't know why we call it a pencil. Well, and why is it that funny shape? I don't know. Why is it yellow? What is that inside of it? And how does that get in there? And so I actually went online and looked. But why? What does that mean? What is that thing? What is that? And are we willing to question our beliefs? And why would we want to? Because I think a lot of times what we believe, what we think we know, limits us. As I sat down this week before we did the Burning Bowl service, I was thinking, well, what is it that is mine to release this year? And what came to me was that mine to release this year is to release the idea of who I believe I am. And to release the idea that I believe I know. And to be open to having that being revealed to me. And that's a little scary sometimes. Because there's some safety, there's some illusion of safety in thinking we know. So are we willing to open and question who we are, what we believe, what we think, we know, because it can limit us. What if we had just accepted the belief that the earth was flat and nobody ever questioned that? What if the Wright brothers accepted that there's no way that you can create a flying machine? There's no way we can have space travel. There's no way we can do those things. What about if we still believed that disease was caused by humors, and we had to let the blood and we had to put leeches on our bodies in order to get rid of those things? So sometimes beliefs can limit us. Not just beliefs about things out there, but our religion. Our religion can very often limit us, our expression, and who we believe that we are. Who I believe I am can limit me if I think that I have to subscribe to that limiting idea of me. And I think that's true for many of us. Whether it's from learning that we have had from the past, whether it's from experiences that we've had in the past that we have allowed to define us, to limit our experience, that it's important for us to be willing to question those things so that we can really release the blocks that they create. Because they do create blocks. They're energy blocks. Beliefs that limit us block our energy, block our expression of the life force that is living us, the life force that wants to be expressed through us. And we block that simply really by our beliefs that we can't, our beliefs that we're too old, too fat, too uneducated. And so it's important, I think, as we move forward in this new year, as we look at new beginnings, opening up to new experiences, to really be open and to question everything about what we believe, we know. To really be willing to embrace the I don't know mind, the beginner's mind, and to move forward from that. Open up to the wisdom of the universe and allow that to be revealed through us. Many of you probably heard me talk about the work of Byron Katie and how powerful that is and that process has been in my life and continues to be. And what she says is that the only thing that limits us, the only thing that creates distress in our lives are unquestioned thoughts. And so her process is writing them down, becoming conscious of them first, becoming conscious of the thoughts that block us, writing them down, and then questioning, is it true? It's a very simple process. Is it true? And if you say yes, the next question is, can I absolutely know that it's true? In the absolute, can I know that what I think is true? The third question is, how do I react or how do I feel when I believe that thought? And so it's an opportunity for us to get in touch with what's going on with us. How having that thought, holding that belief affects us. Physically, emotionally, how it affects our interactions with each other. If I hold the belief that you're a jerk, how am I going to react to you? Every time I see you, I'm probably going to run away. Every time I see you, I'm probably going to project that onto you and resist even having a conversation with you. How do I react? And the fourth question is a very powerful question as well. Who or what would I be if I could never have that thought again? If I never could have that thought again, who or what would I be? How would I feel then? What would my experience be then? And so, as we move forward into the new year, as we start new beginnings, we look at things that we want to change about our lives. We begin here, in our consciousness and our thinking, and question. Many of you probably are A Course in Miracles students. The first few lessons, in the lessons in A Course in Miracles talk about, I don't know what anything means. I don't know what this means. Because we're meaning-making machines. As human beings, we are meaning-making machines. We make meaning of everything. It doesn't mean this is not a pencil. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to write with it. And I'm not really talking about simple things like that. Well, yeah, I am too. But really questioning everything. What does it mean? What meaning am I assigning to it? And is that true? Opening ourselves up to the beginner's mind, to the I don't know mind, and ask for the truth to be revealed, the wisdom of the universe. You have access to all of it. In fact, you are it in expression, waiting to be revealed. So I encourage us as we move forward into this year, embrace that I don't know mind, the beginner mind. Question everything and allow that to be revealed through you. It's my encouragement this year. And I encourage you to remind me.